Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Reaction and Review UK, round 4 of September month. So, we've hung out with the Goonies, went looking for the Holy Grail, and we went back to the future. So, what are we up to this time? Well, there's an old saying around these parts, and it kind of goes like this. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who do you call? If you don't know the answer to that question, then why are you here? But before we get to that, two pointless little announcements for the two of you that may care. First of all, I took care of that smoke alarm from yesterday. Just took the battery out this morning. I'm thinking of either getting a new battery, or because it's really old, I'm thinking of just getting a brand new smoke alarm. So, safety first, kids. Safety first. And number two, since I know 3 people have been asking me about this, here is my exact opinion of Doug Walker cancelling The Nostalgia Critic.
I don't care. I don't care. He doesn't care. I don't care.
I told you guys I was done with that, and so far I've been keeping true to my word, so yeah, couldn't give a rat's ass. Now then, now that we've taken care of that, let's get on with today's movie. Today's movie up for review is Ghostbusters. Pretty self-explanatory title, you know. They bust ghosts. It's how it's always confused me as a kid. Especially that line, busting makes me feel good. Anyway! So, as the question we've asked with the last 3, is this a classic that still holds up? Well, let's give it the nostalgia test and find out, shall we? That in mind, ladies and gentlemen, as always, grab something to drink. It's time to kick back, relax, and let's watch Ghostbusters. I'm still very impressed by the camera tricks used in this movie. I mean, this is the day before, you know, ILM and CGI kind of, you know, stank up the place, but it's just really good seeing this, like, old-timey, old-fashioned kind of special effects here. I mean, I like CG, I mean, I think it's great, but I also have appreciation for the old ways, shall we say. That's why I love 1930s cartoons so much. Here's what I don't get, okay? This isn't a science question for you out there. If they're ghosts, why are they, like, leaking, like, oozy goop and stuff? All you scientists, comments down there.
A franchise rights alone will make us rich beyond our wildest dreams.
This is kind of rich coming from a guy who doesn't want to do Ghostbusters 3. You don't realise it at this point, but one little bit of foreshadowing I love about this scene is Dana Barrack has a bag of Stay Puft marshmallows. At the time, you really don't think it means anything, but that is just really good foreshadowing. Pointless bit of trivia here. That noise you just heard is also a sound used in the House of the Dead video game by Sega. You only even put a quarter or a pound coin, if you're in the UK, you'd hear that noise. Pointless bit of trivia. I like informing people.
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
That explains Dragon Ball Evolution now. I would have just kept running, you know? Considering how long that dog's taking, you could have outrun that fucker by now.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Quote number 1. Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. Oh, come on, don't you want to be destroyed by irony? For your faggotry, I cover you in cum. Well, it looks like it. You seem to enjoy it. So, that was Ghostbusters. Let's just put a stop to that. Unfortunately, because these music, the copyright music at the end of these videos. Alrighty then. Okay then. First of all, let's ask the big question before we get down to the review. Okay. Has this movie passed the nostalgia test, and is it still good? Well, yeah, I think it is. I think it still holds up, and it's still really funny. It really feels weird, because watching this movie, since I've watched a lot of, like, superhero, like, comic book movies and everything, it feels like this is, like, a movie based on a franchise. I know the franchise kind of got spawned from this movie, but the way that the story is set up, you see how the Ghostbusters begin, it almost feels like this is an origin story, you know, from an established franchise kind of thing. It feels weird in that regard, you know? All the characters are really funny. I mean, Peter Venkman is like the classic asshole, you know, the guy you're supposed to root for him, but you feel like, you know what, you're kind of an asshole, you know? Ray, you kind of feel sorry for because he's kind of like Peter pressured and bullied into doing stuff. Spengler, or Egon, should we say. Egon is kind of like the stoic, you know, really deep into his shit, nerdy kind of guy. And Winston, he's just there for the paycheck, as he's told us countless, you know, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you want. So you have these 4 different personalities, and they really carry the story quite well. Because normally when you have a foursome... No, not in that regard. Perverts. When you have a foursome like this, it really depends on, you know, is the chemistry there, and does the characters work? And the chemistry with these 4 characters... Granted, you meet Winston sort of at the halfway mark, and you don't spend a lot of time with that character, you really feel like, you know, it's believable, you know. It has good chemistry, and these characters are just fun to watch. Walter Peck, easily the most annoying character, next to Louis Tully. Is it Rick Moranis, is that his name? Rick Moranis? But yeah, the writing of the movie. Now, honestly, I'll try again. The writing for this movie, you know, the 2 guys who wrote this star in it, that's pretty cool. And they go on to make, you know, the second movie and the game, but we'll get to that in a minute. The writing is really solid. It tells the story it needs to. It doesn't do this stupid shit of just adding things for no reason. Everything in this movie needs to be here. They don't spend too long with the ghost catching. I mean, you sort of get a hint of that in the montage shot with the really kick-ass theme song. And it doesn't like dwell on too much stuff. I mean, it kind of abandons some things for other stories. I mean, the bit with Walter Peck, you know, like, oh, may I please see the storage facility? Go get a court order. Oh, okay. And he comes back like 20 to 30 minutes later, and you're thinking, like, wouldn't he have done that, like, the very next day kind of thing? I'm trying to think what else. The special effects. Now, keep in mind, this is the day before, you know, groundbreaking CGI and all this other shit. So it uses some really old-timey, you know, special effects. And even today, I mean, normally when you watch a movie sometimes, and you see the special effects, you sort of go, that is so fucking terrible. The effects of this movie really still work. I mean, it's not the most groundbreaking, it's not like Transformers CGI kind of thing, or anything like that, or Avatar, for example, but it does the job it needs to. I mean, it makes the ghosts look real enough. I mean, the interaction with Slimer, for example, the effects do what they need to. The music is eerie, it sets the mood, and it has this really sort of gothic-y, supernatural feel to the music, and yeah, I still think it works. One plot hole that the movie never really sort of tied up, and it was something that the game tied up, but we're going to get to that. The one thing that the one plot that didn't tie up was the librarian. You know, the whole library. I think she has an official name, but it's escaping me right now. They never really tied that up, and I figured, you know, maybe movie 2 would have done that. But movie 2 does a few things. I mean, I like the second movie, but it does a few things that don't sit right with me. Okay. Now, can I recommend this movie? Fuck yeah, it's just one of those movies you need to see. And the reason why I chose these movies, 7 of them, or maybe 6 of these movies, you could probably agree that they're movies you need to see before you die. Maybe there's two movies in this list I've chose so far that you may not agree with, but what are you going to do? Now, there's the big issue of, is Ghostbusters 3 ever going to happen? And, you know, Peter Venkman, I don't remember his name, Bill Murray says he has no interest in doing it. The other actors want to do Ghostbusters 3, and he's like, no, I don't want to do it. And I guess that's why we got the makeshift of Ghostbusters the game. And the problem with this game is, this game is good, but the problem with it is, you feel like it's just kind of like going off the cliff notes of this. It pretty much, let me just find a way of doing it. It's kind of like that. That's pretty much Ghostbusters the game. It's just the first movie, but as a game. Just hide the Blu-ray logo there. There we go. That'd make a good box art, actually. That's the problem with it. It's just... It felt like, oh, let's just take all these bits and pieces from the movie rather than just do something new, which kind of sucks. But that's enough about the game. Let's talk about the actual movie. Okay, right. Like I said, it doesn't add things for the sake of it. It really just tells the story it wants to tell, and it's just a really enjoyable story. All the set pieces, the characters, the music, writing, lighting, everything, it's perfect. You know, it's one of those movies I can really have nothing bad to say about it. Nitpicks, maybe, but that's it. That's the whole point, like I said, why I chose these movies, because they're personal favourites. If, you know, you've got an opinion, then leave a comment and let me know. Okay, I'm kind of padding this out now. So yeah, let's just wrap this up. If you can... So let's just wrap this up. You can find this movie now really cheap as chips, maybe on a DVD. This is the Blu-ray copy. Again, not mine, so don't bother asking. You can probably find this on, like, Amazon or any DVD. DVD, that's a new one. Damn it, random, stop watching. Alright. You can find this on DVD, really cheap as chips, maybe on Amazon or your local DVD retailer, or maybe Netflix. You know, it's not on YouTube, I look, so Netflix may be a good option, but watch the first one before you go and see the second one, or play the video game, because you're going to be lost. But yeah, this is a really enjoyable comedy. It has passed the nostalgia test, it's stood the test of time, and yeah, you really need it. Just don't take my word for it. Go and see this for yourself if you haven't seen it already. And if you haven't seen it before, then wow, where have you been? Okay. With that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of another Reaction and Review UK. I have been Random, still trying not to botch in my ship, saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.
Yes, it is. Can I help you?
I don't have an appointment. I'd like to talk to
Toaster of Aikman.